I need something to give my heavy machine gun time to react and set upon those Panzergrenadiers. We see some further engagement here. Flamethrowers catching these Panzergrenadiers a bit too close. And we do have what looks like the assault setting in here. Panzergrenadiers lining up. Riflemen seizing a bit of territory while the 30 caliber machine gun awaits whatever might come, while these engineers are now beginning to lay down barbed wire. Why am I doing that, you ask? Well, to prevent anyone from just rushing up and dropping any grenades through the windows, in which case having a bit of barbed wire can make that a bit more of a daunting task and give the heavy machine gun a bit more time to react. But instead they are amassing for a southern assault here in this small courtyard. I'm not entirely sure who'd live out here, and I'm not entirely sure what this sort of place is, but so far I can see it looks like it's been converted into a German supply depot, what with all the Opel Blitzes and supply crates of all sorts. And we have further engagement here. First, assault grenadiers. The 17th is this, calling in a bit heavier troops to deal with all these nasty Americans, while these are just setting up for an assault but not really moving in. I'm a bit curious to what he's doing. Possibly might be going for a mortar half-track. But so far I'm holding most of the map and I'm constantly trying to hit where he's not. And of course keeping moving around, and of course a bit off balance, as that's usually a good thing to do, in particular when you're the Americans, since you're really good at that with your riflemen having an increased capture rate. Tank buster standing right out in the open, not entirely the best position. And I do have Rangers hitting the field, so of course I've gone infantry company and sneaking in with the bazookas right here. Nice volley, damaging the engine of the half-track. It is still there, and we see the mortar half-track has gotten too close to all of this. And another bazooka rocket, and there we go. It is gone. The half-track is no more. Mortar rounds landing somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure where. Riflemen moving in, probably with sticky bombs, might try and drop their payload on it, and there we go. Sticky bomb on the mortar half-track. He moved it a bit too close, and now it will pay for it. Damaged engine already. Rangers though a bit exhausted, so they won't be able to set in so quickly, but still this will certainly render the mortar half-track a bit inoperable, at least while he repairs it, if he gets out of there. And continuing to secure the center, deciding that the center shall be my strong point, since it will rather hamper his movement, since he will then have to move in a larger. In fact, let me just pause and then show you on the map. If I hold this area, it means he's going to have to sort of try and move through here in a sort of rather long route and to get either point. And of course, so that means if I control the center, I can pretty much to a certain degree dictate his movements, and of course I'll just ensure that this will be of course much harder, so when he does take it, it's going to require a lot more effort from him. Of course, if he's clever, he's going to try and attack it from numerous sides and hope to catch me off guard by that. But of course so far he's more the sort of heavy infantry assault, clumped up and get gunned down sort of type character, so we'll have to see. But also setting up a medic station, again following that sort of not too accessible but still close enough sort of idea. I have it right here. It's going to be right here in the center, of course able to move a bit about, but it's still not, for example, so accessible that he can just spot it and knock it out. He's in fact going to have to get through all of this, and of course the heavy machine gun. Anyhow, back to the game. Veterans, one rifleman securing the center. Do I have? Yes, I do have supply. The first of the supply yard upgrades, which is certainly good. Decreases upkeep, which is always something you want as the Americans, as you really want to stock up on those supplies, as the riflemen are quite hungry on those supplies. And of course requiring a lot of manpower to sustain. Medics sneaking about and securing the sensor. But let's go have a look at Mr. SVPlaarm. He has access to headsets, but question is, will he be using them, as they can sort of act as a cheap sort of Stug, as it were, in fact intended as sort of a light assault gun, and they are a bit more accurate, but they don't quite have the same high explosive shell, I'm afraid, so they aren't quite as effective on that count, I suppose, but they can still do alright. Machine guns, a bit questionable, but I suppose they can be a bit of help sometimes. But busy securing the south, as of course he's now cut off from it. He's probably going to, yes, launch a new massive assault. Mortar half-track on the spot, but I'm again moving through centers, troops into the center to secure it. Tank traps going up, sort of hoping to perhaps make movement a bit through here difficult. That's probably going to stop. Mines being laid down since I have defensive operations. Mortar half-track probably going to be spotted, and riflemen will probably be reacting this. Mines laying down there. Riflemen pulling out. Not keen on facing those Panzergrenadiers. Germans will be trying to regain that supply yard they had there in the center. Mine going off, blasting an assault grenadier right into the stream, and they're getting quite outnumbered. Hold up behind a small piece of wall. But now with BARs equipped for the riflemen, they are certainly with a lot more firepower, making them a lot more lethal against the Panzergrenadiers. And now engaging these tank busters will certainly not be having a fun time. Forced into a full retreat, and of course BARs for riflemen is generally a really good upgrade. Of course it just makes them capable of unleashing a lot more firepower. Generally be a much greater nuisance. And of course sticky bombs going off in this mortar half-track. The mortar half-track apparently turning around, hoping perhaps for some Panzergrenadiers to assist it. Looks like it, but I doubt it will make it. Riflemen pulling out, and mortar half-track is wrecked, prompting another retreat. Engineers laying down further mines right here in the remains of the central road. A bit of combat here. Teller mines are still there, but of course they're not going to be detonated anytime soon. Panzergrenadiers apparently watching over the others right in the middle of the water and stopping to take this fuel point. I'm a bit curious what's going on. Still holding the center. He's still trying his best to rush this area, but of course he's still not having much luck. Riflemen moving in from the north. 5 men a bit wounded, but still BARs, and with efficiency 1, which gives increased accuracy, they're certainly in a slight advantage. Of course, with these tank busters standing right out in the water, they are very nice targets. Looks like these Panzergrenadiers have taken up position right behind this wrecked Schwimmwagen. Very nice view, in fact, and these riflemen may have to retreat out of there despite the BARs, and there we go. Panzergrenadiers once more amassing right in the center. I mean, if I had a mortar, that could easily have ended up very badly for him, but I currently don't. We see another mortar half-track going out. Funny how, though, he has gone for the heads-up, but he's not using it. I mean, I really have nothing that could really put a stop to it. So a proper use of it could really probably be rather devastating for me, even with the Rangers and sticky bombs to oppose it. Assault Grenadiers getting suppressed, but the mortar half-track is quick to set up and will probably bombarding in this position. There we go, one is already killed. A bit of shrapnel probably flying through a window, killing the poor bugger. But large force of Americans, riflemen and flamethrowers on the spot. And there we go, the MG is gone. The mortar half-track in fact nicely reported on it. And flamethrowers now firing away at those Panzergrenadiers. They are quick to suppress, but that doesn't stop these riflemen. And of course, right now, these Panzergrenadiers are standing right out in the open against troops with automatic weapons. And what do I say about that? Don't. In fact, he's suffering quite heavily, and he's apparently focusing on the engineers who are right behind cover. So not only is he standing in the wrong spot, he's focusing on the wrong troops. Ah, there are my Rangers. I've been a bit curious where they were. But still holding the center despite the lack of the heavy machine gun. I'll probably be getting another one. Mortar apparently just firing for the fun of it. He holds most of the victory points, but in fact I have the actual count in points so far. Still resorting to those infantry heavy tactics. In fact, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams of Panzergrenadiers. That's an awful lot, and of course an awful lot to reinforce, in particular in the way he just keeps losing them. A few riflemen catching on fire here, as incendiary rounds are dropped on them, and they are quick to vacate the premises. Rangers now with SMGs moving to the south, supporting some riflemen, while larger force, a smaller force, support force, in fact, engineers and heavy machine gun are moving towards the center. Riflemen holding these Panzergrenadiers a bit at bay. And of course there's absolutely nothing here, so that should make it easy for me to retake the area. Some suppressive fire from the BARs, quickly getting those down, and Rangers and Riflemen quick to take advantage of this, forcing these Panzergrenadiers into a full rout, and not even some of them having even gotten close to the area of engagement. Mortar rounds continuing. We'll have to see if I will deal with that, but of course continue to try and take the southern areas at the same time.
We now have incendiary grenades at
Still
our
not a
disposal.
single hit, though. Still not a single hit. It surprises me, actually.
The enemy is seizing our
Not moving
territory.
those Rangers about, but there we go. Mortar half-track looking a bit threatened, and we'll have to get out of there, but Panzergrenadiers are moving in to support, suppressing the Riflemen, which is of course the good move, but those flamethrowers can still do a bit, but they are forced to retreat. Heavy machine gun setting up right here. Don't want to set up in perhaps the most obvious, still strong positions, just perhaps a bit there, so when he moves in through, he will still be a bit forced to engage here. In fact, let's return to me. And note that right here I can still cover the central victory point, which is an important bit, and of course noting he's laying down a lot of teller mines, which of course telling me, hey, no rush for vehicles, eh? And again a large force of the 17th SS moving down to the south. 5 teams, while 3 teams are residing in the north.
Point is being seized.
Medic station only 1 wounded away from recuperating a full team. And I'm currently sort of hoping to get the off-map combat group, just in case he does decide to throw in something heavier than Panzergrenadiers and mortar half-tracks. Of course I have to be careful with teller mines, but for the most part he seems to have then again completely stopped laying them, besides right here, and here since again he's not seeing any vehicles. So
Grenades
again,
have arrived.
sometimes the trick can also just be to fool him into complacency and make him think that, oh right, I'm using something else. Pineapple grenade going off. The Rangers are still holding the line with submachine guns blasting away, but they're certainly looking to be outmanned. But they are taking down as many as they can before retreating.
Just give me a rifle. One round.
And still holding this central supply area from the Germans, who are continuing to move through in large hordes. A bit Soviet tactics, medic dragging through a wounded rifleman. And Panzergrenadiers clumping up right at this fuel point. I'm not entirely sure why. Panzergrenadiers hitting a mine right there. Very fun. And these are forced into a full rout. Again, that's sort of the trouble with amassing hordes of infantry. You can easily be forced back via a bit of clever tactics and maneuvering. And there we go. Tank busters out in the open. Flamethrowers moving in. Will the tank busters be slain? No, they do get out there. Quite miraculously, but these engineers might not. No, they just barely make it, in fact. But now Panzergrenadiers are moving through the center, again keen on retaking this area and restoring the flow of supplies to the center, at least perhaps recovering that. Pineapple grenade going off, killing a Panzergrenadier team. Certainly very good at that with those pineapple grenades. And Panzergrenadiers forced into a full rout. Mortar rounds landing. Apparently the mortar is placed right down there, and oh dear, has he gotten a hiccup? Bugger. Yo! My apologies. Riflemen quick on the spot. The mortar half-track apparently moving a bit too slowly, and riflemen with the infantry to have increased range, so there you go. Mortar half-track is a bit on its own. BAR equipped riflemen will be shortly turning this into a wreck, and there we go. One mortar half-track on fire. And I only in fact have 5 infantry teams, so I'm certainly holding the advantage right here. Now we see a fresh assault force moving in, again using those Gewehr 43s as sort of light machine gun, at least for in terms of suppression, and suppressing the riflemen, forcing them to a full rout, hoping to get them, but the riflemen do barely get out of there, probably thanks to that veterancy too.
Reinforcements ready to roll.
Numerous tank busters who so far haven't had much luck. In fact, it seems like he's gotten the upgrade that gives them 2, which is of course nice against vehicles, but against infantry won't do too much. And in fact, his tank busters are getting torn apart and are forced into a retreat. Gewehr 43 is trying to suppress, but now they are getting outgunned and outnumbered. Once more forced to retreat, while these are also getting out there. In fact, might be cut down with a bit of luck. There we go. In fact, heavy assault grenadiers are lost on the retreat. Bit of sneaking about here.
We're losing ground out there.
Panzergrenadiers being caught out in the open versus these riflemen, and a pineapple grenade going off, landing right in the midst, killing 2 and leaving the last one to get out of there in a hurry. And we see a Panzer IV coming out, Panzer IV infantry support tank. Apparently managed to call upon some support from a Panzer replacement battalion. And we see bazooka rockets hitting the